Now we continue with reactions to the passing of former Deputy President David Mabuza, who died in hospital yesterday then at the age of 64, of course serving as the country's second in command from 2018 to 2023. The South African Democratic Teachers Union General Secretary, Dr Mugwena Maluleke, joins us for more on this. Dr. Maluleke, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it then this afternoon. Indeed, a sad one to be speaking to you on at this time. Then let's just ask for your reaction to begin with then, with regard to the passing of former President David Mabuza.
Greetings to your viewers and greetings to you, sir. And I really appreciate the opportunity for us to be able to express our deepest condolences to the family of Mabuza, but also that our organization celebrate his life, celebrate the period when he was a teacher, because before he was a deputy president, before the rallies and the roundtables, David Mabuza stood before a chalkboard. I'm not with a microphone, but with equations and conviction. In the rural classroom of Mpumalanga, he taught mathematics not as a subject, but as a tool for emancipation. He always told us that that is his weapon against inequality. So he had an understanding that students who feared the numbers, he encouraged them through night classes, but also morning lessons and so forth. So we remember David as a teacher and a professional who had fought for this particular profession from the days when there were campaigns about the curriculum, about the language, about mother tongue teaching, and many campaigns that Mabuza has been at the forefront of those particular campaigns. Yeah. So we really are saddened by his passing.
Mr. Mugwena Maluleke, I mean, I was about to talk about that because the time he served as chairperson was in 1988 and 1991, an extremely turbulent time then one imagines in South Africa as we're still fighting for that democracy. It was not yet Uhuru, and yet in the education space, of course, that was a prevalent part in this fight then. Just talk to us about the kind of person he was in that struggle, in that fight. I know you've relayed quite a few parts of the things he was able to do, but if you could share even just his kind of resilience through all of that.
Thank you very much for that. Indeed, as a teacher, when we running those particular campaigns about mother tongue teaching, he took it upon himself to organize the communities, to understand the importance of mother tongue. And then he was using his dual position as the chairperson of the region, as well as the coordinator of the National Education Crisis Committee. I know that it has been disbanded in 1994, but it played a pivotal role in mobilizing the consciousness of the communities and the consciousness of the teachers, reawakening in them to believe that education is for emancipation and is a liberatory tool. So he led those particular struggles when it was not fashionable to do so. But even when he was teaching mathematics, he didn't teach mathematics as a subject, but he was saying to the students, this is about liberation, so that then he had this vision that through education we can build a strong, inclusive economy, but also we can have entrepreneurs, we can have people of critical thinking and also creative and innovation. So that is the role that he has been leading as a teacher. He encouraged the teachers as a hurricane. They used to call him a hurricane. Why? Not for chaos, but because he was giving speeches that reawakening and provoking them to be activists at that time, to fight against an evil system that was there. Sure.
Passionate words indeed. From your perspective, how did this experience then later shape and mold and ready Mr. Mabuza then for political life, as it were?
Having the skills as a negotiator, a humble man, very assertive, it really shaped him to be able to mobilize and unite the people. I share those who are saying he was a unifier. So learning through mobilizing and organizing in the teaching fraternity has helped him as well to grow within the structures of the movement and became a leader, and that he again lived the experience, not through verbal consumption, but really lived the experience of how he mobilized the teachers and united them and started uniting the people around the movement as we now executing the struggle of the National Democratic Revolution. So as people talk about unifier, I mean it's painful to unite the people. It takes efforts, it takes your energy, but it takes a personality that Mabuza had to really say, I will forgo this particular position in favor of you coming together and unite this particular organization. That's how he was sharpened by the struggles of the teachers, the struggles of the classroom, where overcrowding, he took it and fought against that and really brought about parity in salaries, but also in terms of gender struggles that he was leading.
Yeah, we've just heard a moment ago actually from the former premier then of Mpumalanga, that's Matthew Ziphosa, saying that, of course, with his nickname being the Cat, he was quite a shrewd politician. But perhaps in years gone by, could you see that shrewdness in him then? Could you see that cat-like way of negotiating in him back then?
Yes, we would see that. Remember, in terms of the South African Schools Act, the template that he was using for school governing bodies was used therefore finally as part of a tool that was used by the councils and bargaining councils in terms, because he made sure that it is an instrument that is supported by the people. So shrewdness, basically, I take it as a person who had, learned and skilled himself to negotiate and through persuasion. And when he believed in something, he'll be shrewd because he's very assertive and therefore he stands for the right thing. And what he believes is what he's going to be standing for. So we saw it when the progressive acts were promulgated in education sector.
Indeed, it feels like a long-lasting legacy indeed there. Just very finally, how will Sadtu itself then be remembering Mr. Mabuza and honoring him perhaps in any formal way?
Sadtu will remember him really as a founder of this particular organization, and for that reason that he has given the new generation this heritage, which is Sadtu, is for us to really unite ourselves, is to ensure that we stand for our teachers, we stand for our students, and really professionalize the profession that he so much shaped in our country. And obviously, our National Executive Committee will take a discussion in terms of how we can make sure that his legacy lives on and leads us.
Dr. Mugwena Maluleke, Sadtu's General Secretary, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it as we talk and unpack the life and times then of a former Deputy President there, David Mabuza, who passed away at the age of 64 yesterday. We're going to get you more reactions to that story, of course, then we'll bring you more after this.